Hey, I'm Jocelyn, and today we're going to make my sweet and salty roasted pecans, or pecans, however you want to say it. This is a really easy thing, and it's one of those recipes you can fiddle with and make it absolutely your own. This is just a starting spot. So I have about 1 pound of raw pecans, and into this I'm going to throw 4 tablespoons of melted butter. And I've got 1/3 cup of sugar. Actually, I'm not using sugar. I'm using monk fruit extract. You can use sugar. Granulated sugar works fine. I'm just avoiding sugar this week, so that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna put in a little splash of vanilla. I never measure this. Okay, maybe that's more than a little. I like vanilla. Right here I have about 1 ounce of bourbon. If you don't want to do bourbon in it, you can absolutely just sub in some water. But do put some kind of liquid in there. And then I've got a generous teaspoon of salt. I've got about an eighth of a teaspoon of allspice, 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne, and 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And it all just goes right in, and we stir it up. And sometimes I will put hot sauce in. Sometimes I'll put nutmeg in, especially during the holidays. I change it up all the time, and you can make this however you want. What you want to do now is just mix it really well so that everything's really well coated, and then we're going to put it on this tray. And this I have lined with parchment paper. If you don't have parchment paper, lightly grease the pan. A little bit of Pam or something like that on there will work wonders for your cleanup. I prefer just to use the parchment paper and make it easy on myself. All right, that's it. We're gonna throw these on in as thin a layer as possible. Sometimes there's a couple lying on top of each other. They'll be okay. And then we're gonna put it into an oven at 275, and we're gonna put it in there for about, I'm gonna say 25 minutes. I just keep an eye on it and watch what happens. When they start looking nice and brown and golden and yummy, then that's when it's ready. Also, you'll be able to start smelling them all over the house. Your house will smell amazing. If you're selling your house, you should totally make these, and the house will smell amazing. All right, so that's a pretty thin layer, and I'm just gonna pop this in the oven. So pecans have been cooking for about 25 minutes, and they smell really good. My whole house smells really good, kind of like the holidays. Oh, they look wonderful, don't they? So we're gonna let these cool, and I'm gonna take them off. This is the other great thing about the parchment paper. You can just sort of lift this off. Not with gloves, you can't. We're gonna just pick this up carefully. I'm gonna let them cool on the counter so that that baking sheet isn't giving off any heat. So I'm just gonna take a fork and kind of spread them out. There's a stray one that was begging to be eaten. They're funny when they're hot because they're really smushy, but they're good. Tastes excellent. So before these get really cold, I'm gonna sprinkle just a little bit more salt on top because I really like big chunky bits of salt in my sweet food. So I'm gonna do that. And literally just a pinch. I have no idea how much I'm measuring. I don't measure. Measuring sucks. We're just gonna throw it on there. All right, so I'm gonna let these cool, and once they're cold, I'm just gonna go ahead and put them in a jar, and that's it. They're all done. Okay, so these have pretty well cooled down, and I'm just gonna go ahead and stick these in my jar. I hope this jar is big enough. I always feel like I never quite get that right. I always pick the wrong size jar somehow. All right, and then another great thing about the parchment paper is that it makes the cone. Perfect. All right, here we go. That's it. I'm gonna eat a couple. Those are so good. It's really hard to just eat a couple though. That sweet and salty, you want to eat them. I could probably eat the whole jar sitting right here. So anyway, these are great. These are what I put on my charcuterie plate. I make little jars of them and I give them to my friends at Christmas sometimes. Just whatever, they're great for anything. You can throw them on top of a salad, anywhere you would use any regular kind of pecan or any other nut. Substitute these for a little bit more flavor. See you later, bye. I better put these away.